I strongly believe that everyone should be holding at least at the bare minimum 1,000 XDC right now. And the reason why is because of the overall opportunity that's in front of us. And I'm going to address that in this video. And I actually want to first start off with the market offering, right? One of the biggest complaints about XDC is how to buy it, where to buy it, because it's not listed on every single major exchange. And now we're starting to see more and more listings, like for an example, this one through multi-bank. XDC network is now available. And, this is not one of the largest exchanges out there, but they are a fairly big, exchange, which we love to see. And this has actually been a common theme now. We've been starting to see more and more listings of XDC, which is very exciting to see because, again, this is more so, a spotlight on how much more value and volume could flood into XDC and how many more investors could also tap into XDC as well. So, more market offering equals more investors, which equals more value going into the asset, which means higher prices. So this is definitely something that I've been focused on. But outside of that, we've also been starting to see a lot of integrations happening around XDC. For example, this one with Stargate. Now, Stargate is a pretty big project, over 315,000 followers, one of the biggest, I would argue, one of the biggest networks in this space. And we have here that XDC joins Stargate. Stargate Finance has officially integrated XDC network into its Hydra network. XDC now taps into Stargate's unified liquidity layer spanning 50 plus chains, unlocking true omni-chain interoperability. So, more access, more interoperability, which, we love to see. So this is definitely a big one. And there's been a lot of integrations happening like this around XDC. This is very good, especially from the developer side, because now we have this multi-chain interoperability push happening around XDC, which means more developers will want to build on XDC. Now, also events. We've been watching as events are piling up around XDC, and a lot of people think that these events mean absolutely nothing, but technically speaking, these events, are very crucial for the life cycle of some of these networks. And the reason why I say that is because at these events, you have, number one, community growth, which means more investors, more focus on XDC. But number two, you have networking, which equals partnerships, growth. And you also have, number three, developers being spotlighted. You could bring more developers onto the network. You want to have a lot more people building on the network. This is where they could actually see the power of the network. They can understand the use cases that the network is capable of not only housing, but also what the network itself is capable of doing. So, this brings in so much more, for the network outside of just it being an event that talks about XDC. And we actually have here XDC Network is once again thrilled to partner with the Digital Economy Council of Australia as a sponsor of DEC on 2025, the premier event for blockchain, Web3, and DLT leaders shaping the digital economy. Here's how XDC will be powering the agenda across 3 impactful days. Number 1, fireside chat on supply chain and provenance. And this is with some pretty big names. And the topics are AI, blockchain, and traceability. Number 2 is DLT panel on digital money rails. Again, great developments happening here with ANZ Australia, for an example, AUDD Digital, and then, of course, WorldPay Global. These are 3 giants, and they will be discussing speed, scale, and security of settlement layers. And then day 3, executive roundtables on stablecoins. We already know how big stablecoins are becoming. Australia is definitely focused on stablecoins as well. Then we also have the demo workshop, which is the trade digitalization experience. This is how MLATR and tech are becoming the new normal in trade. And this is happening on June 18th. So again, these are great conferences, great events, and they really do put a spotlight on XDC in a big way. And it's a lot of networking, potential partnerships. I mean, these names like WorldPay Global, for an example, which are tapped in with Hedera, ANZ Australia also tapped in with some of these big networks. And then, of course, we do have the Australian digital dollar. These are great companies, great names as well to be tapped in with XDC, have these great conversations and potentially ink some partnerships. Now, outside of that, we also have a big update happening with GBBC, Global Stratalogs, and then also the Qatar Financial Center. We're proud to share that the head of XDC Network Enterprise Alliance and Ventures will be featured speaker at the Global Stratalogs Roundtable in Doha. held alongside the Qatar Economic Forum. This is great to see. We're going to see tokenized use cases being talked about. We're going to see a lot of discussions happening around the integration of Islamic finance and even cross-border digital trade, aligned with XDC Network's mission to bring enterprise-grade blockchain innovation to the real world. So love to see more events like this and more discussions happening around XDC with tokenization, cross-border payments, and just finance in general. Now, on top of the idea of collaborations and integrations, this is all happening, by the way, in the last just couple weeks. Here we have another big one from the 23rd. XDC Network is excited to announce our collaboration with LibreCap. Now, this is a pretty small project, but I'm actually very excited about this one. So a leading regulated infrastructure provider for tokenized investment products, now deploying its on-chain issuance and management framework on the XDC Network blockchain. This integration introduces a fully compliant mechanism for the distribution and lifecycle management of tokenized funds, including subscriptions, redemptions, and transfers to institutional and accredited investors on the XDC network. And this is the very interesting part. So Libre's platform supports tokenization of diverse strategies managed by renowned asset managers such as BlackRock, Brevan Howard, Hamilton Lane, and Laser Digital, marking a key advancement in regulated blockchain finance. So think about this. BlackRock, Brevan Howard, Hamilton Lane, Laser Digital, these are massive names that are now also tapped in with Libre's platform with XDC. So the exposure here around XDC for institutional players and big asset management companies is only becoming more and more prominent, which we love to see. Now, on top of that, here we actually have from XDC Ventures a little bit more of a focus on this partnership. So we have XVC Tech, the venture capital arm of the XDC network, today announced its investment in the Laser Digital Carry Fund, a market-neutral digital asset strategy managed by Laser Digital, the digital asset subsidiary of Nomura Holdings. As part of this collaboration, LibreCap, a regulated infrastructure provider for tokenized investment products, will deploy its on-chain issuance and management framework on the XDC network. Libre, a leading regulated infrastructure provider for tokenized investment products, is deploying its on-chain issuance and management framework on the XDC network, and they also do highlight those big players. But this is a major step towards institutional adoption of blockchain native financial products, and this is all involving big pieces of the XDC network like XDC Ventures. So love to see it. Now, on top of that, we also saw a big update from AliNex. Now we have here that they announced a strategic partnership with, of course, XDC network, integrating real world payments with AliX Pay. We're excited to announce our strategic partnership with XDC network to expand our ecosystem and enhance real-world payment capabilities through AliX Pay. AliNex's crypto to fiat liquidity infrastructure product. This collaboration marks a significant step in bringing XDC into real-world payment services across Southeast Asia, including Vietnam, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Again, more market exposure to XDC, more utility being exposed to XDC as well. So love to see this. I think that this is great. Again, not one of the biggest players out there, but still more and more exposure, more and more expansion of the ecosystem. And you just love to see this. This is the type of adoption that we want to see around XDC because it has been so long, since we've witnessed so many big announcements happening in such a short amount of time. You got to remember that this is just in all 1 month from all of these big announcements. On top of that, we also saw another big update around Elliptic. So Elliptic expands coverage to XDC network. We're pleased to announce that the XDC Foundation is now supported on the Elliptic platform, and this integration enables institutions on XDC to access Elliptic's AML and blockchain analytics solutions, supporting its specialized focus on tokenized real-world assets, including treasuries, commodities, and trade instruments. And by the way, Elliptic is a pretty big player around this space. Even though they have only 16K followers, they are a crucial piece for really tapping into some of the analytics around blockchain, specifically for institutional players. So great to see, and again, just another big update happening in 1 single month. On top of that, Credifi. So Credifi Finance recently put out an update as well, saying big surprise incoming. We've been working on something very special, and it's almost time to share it with you. Next week, we're unveiling a major announcement connected to our accelerator program in collaboration with XDC Network and Plug and Play TC. This is more than just an announcement. It's a leap forward for innovation, real-world adoption, and the future of decentralized finance. For now, we're keeping the details under wraps, but trust us, you'll want to be here when the news drops. So love to see this, and yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens with this, and I'm very excited to see what type of announcement this actually is. On top of that, we also saw a big update. XDC Network has partnered with Bitso, which, by the way, Bitso is a giant, big player. If you don't know, they are a giant, especially around Mexico. So we have business to deliver fast, low-cost cross-border payments from the United States to Mexico with over $63 billion in inbound remittances. Mexico ranks second globally, while the United States leads the world in outbound remittance volume with an annual total exceeding $70 billion. This is a vital corridor, and this blockchain-powered partnership is making it easier and cheaper for businesses and individuals to send money across borders. Real-time USD equals, real-time USD and MXN conversion, ideal for SMEs and fintechs, ISO 20022 compliant infrastructure, and built for scalability and inclusion. Again, just another big announcement. And, we're starting to see all of these piling up at a perfect time. Also, I think that we are now 60 days away from that $500 million flooding on chain with XDC in terms of tokenized value. We're still sitting at about 27 million, almost 28 million, up 81, almost 82% in the last 30 days in terms of RWA value on XDC. We're starting to see more and more value flooding on chain for XDC, and we could actually track all of this and where the difference is coming from. And we're not seeing the total value here. I know that there's a lot more tied to XDC. I think over time we're going to start to see more and more at it here. But a lot of this is actually coming from Comtech Gold. Comtech Gold and also USD or USTY. And I think that that's actually from Securitize. Yeah, USTY. This is US Treasury tokens. But I do suspect that we're going to start to see more and more value added here, especially as we do start to see more of these announcements around tokenization. Even for an example, Polytrade, right? We have the Polytrade integration live. This happened on May 19th. Next up, more RWAs on XDC. This move brings us closer to a more connected chain agnostic RWA future. You got to remember that, Polytrade is a giant, right? Like this is a very large platform. They have over 157,000 followers, and they also have exposure to some very big players in TradFi as well. So this is definitely one that you want to focus on, and the fact that they now have that integration with XDC, we love to see that. They're actually a big accelerator of RWAs on XDC, and I do think that we're going to start to see more and more of these values really kind of rising over the coming weeks and even months ahead. And this is just another big stat line to really kind of focus on for XDC, because this is providing us with the insight that XDC is in a completely different league than most of these other top projects, considering the fact that it has more tokenized value on chain than Mantle, Optimism, Sui, Genesis. I mean, guys, I do think that we need to address XDC, and we really need to put some respect on XDC's name, because it is a very undervalued and overlooked project that, in my opinion, has extremely high ROI this cycle. So when I do say I think everyone should own at least 1,000 XDC, I truly do mean it. And I do think that it will be a very big winner this cycle. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this is Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.